Hey there, Mike from EnlightenAI. I'm going to show you the workflow today of digging into an assignment and actually using the tool to grade that work. What we're going to walk through today is not so much the assignment creation process, but how do we calibrate our teaching assistant and train it to function. So the way that we approach things in Enlighten is similar to the way you might approach training an actual human teaching assistant to grade. We ask you to give the system instructions, give it the context it might need, but then to take, say, the first few essays off the stack and grade alongside the DA so that it can really learn about your voice and your approach. So let's dive in and see that process. So I have a bunch of assignments from my social studies class here. I'm going to click into this first one, which is understanding regions. I already selected the claim evidence and reasoning rubric. You can see I have some assignment details here, the grade level, expected submission length in paragraphs. I have a brief prompt. I actually already included the reference text as well. These are all best practices. The more that you give to your AI teaching assistant right up front with context, reference text, etc., the better it's going to be. That's also true here with the instructions for the assistant. Being clear about what is an exemplar student response, specific instructions you might want to give to your teaching assistant, that's all going to help improve the quality of what comes out. So we definitely recommend that you invest the time right here to give your TA as much information as you can. Once we're ready, though, we can review and we can actually start grading. So what's immediately going to happen in the system, and what you can see here, is that my student response is on the left side here. And I'm going to get a rubric score. I'm going to get feedback comments. It's really up to you as the instructor now to decide, is this the right approach? Is the right level of rigor? Is this the right feedback? Is everything about it how you would want to grade? So for example, this is a kind of incomplete sentence. I don't really see a full paragraph here. I see some errors. So I might actually move this down to a 1 and ask the system to regenerate. It's going to regenerate those comments based on that level of rigor. Now, just to illustrate how the system adapts to the way a teacher grades, I'm going to do something else here, which is to say I'm going to break this out into 2 paragraphs. And I'm going to start to include a little bit of text at the bottom that says, please make sure to include your word count. Maybe this was part of the process in class, and I asked students, as you're typing, include your word count. So what I'm asking the tutor to do now is to kind of adjust to my writing style. Now, this is a pretty simplistic response, but over time, as we grade the next few responses alongside the AI, it should pick up on what I'm asking it to do and start to adjust its style and approach. What we ask you to do in Enlighten is to grade the first 5 student responses off the top of the stack to really calibrate and train up your AI assistant. Once you've done that, you should be really confident that the level of rigor, the quality, and the approach is exactly what you want it to be. So let's press save and continue here, and we'll go to the next response. Here we see a pretty nice response. We get a really good rubric score. I'm not going to review these in depth, but I'm going to come back in this second time and I'm going to do the same thing where I break out my positives and then my areas of growth into 2 different paragraphs. And I'm going to add that same response of make sure you include your word count. As we come through to the next response from students, you can see the AI has already started to learn a little bit here. It hasn't quite caught on to the 2 paragraphs piece. That might be a little confusing because I did specifically ask it for 1 paragraph of feedback in my initial setup, but it's already caught on to say, please include word count. So this is really great. It's already learning from us and we can keep going. So as we save and continue, we'll get to our next response. We'll see still struggling. It doesn't really like the fact that I asked for 1 paragraph up front and now I'm asking for 2, but we can continue to give feedback. We can continue to edit rubric scores if we want to. And once we're really, really confident that the AI has gotten to a place where it's learned all it needs to from us, we're going to be able to click this AI grade remaining button after the 5th submission. So you can see on the right side here, it's now giving us the 2 paragraphs we want. And this is, again, just a stand-in for the AI learning to grade the way you would, learning to kind of operate and write the same way you would. So I'll press save and continue. Now I'm really feeling confident and I can click AI grade remaining. Now, if this was a normal TA and you have a large class, this might be hours of work for them to accomplish. But with Enlighten, as you can see from our confetti here, you can really take care of this in just a few moments. If you think about grading an entire school's worth of summative assessment practice, we can do this just in a few minutes. Now, it's important to note here that as we've calibrated our TA and we give it the rest of the stack, we're not done. And we haven't just sent off all the feedback into the ether to be graded by some black box that is AI. Instead, we've gotten the first round of feedback from a TA, and now it's up to you to still go through here and review all these submissions, make edits if you want to. So for example, on this one, I might want to make sure that I have the 2 paragraphs that I wanted. So you're still in the driver's seat here. The idea is that you can review every single one of these. And then once you get to the end, now you can see all the trend data. You can get more information on how much time you've saved. And importantly, you can start to dig into one of the really fun parts of Enlighten, which is the data-driven instruction. I'll get to that in another video. But for now, I will just show you that if you click continue, you can see scores here. Then you have some options. First, you can bulk send this feedback. You can send it via email. You can send it as a PDF to the printer to be sent off. If you have the Google Classroom integration set up, you can actually click and send this directly back to the docs that students had originally written them in. So they'll see their work, the Enlighten feedback, and the rubric score all in that same doc. What you can also do is tab over here and see the trends and insights. You can see the strengths from this particular class, you can see their areas of growth, and you can see these at an individual student level as well. There's a lot to dig into here, but I hope this video was a helpful introduction to this workflow, and I look forward to hearing whatever questions, comments, and feedback y'all have for us. As always, we're a click away. You can always find us here in the bottom right-hand corner, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.